So the next thing I want to talk about for board reading is a category that I'm calling seeking immediate returns. I think it's one that's really, hard for experienced players not to do a little bit just naturally, but in terms of a full cohesive board reading strategy, I think I most associate this with probably Xerix, whether that's something that he wants to be associated with or not. And what you're doing is you're optimizing for your deck, two shuffles away, or really just the start of game deck. Most good decks start the same way, no matter what comes afterwards. So a lot of the time you're trying to do the same thing in the short term, and then you're going to worry about the long term after your deck has started to, work. For setting up, you're usually looking for thinning out cards, things that gain other things, and hitting your price points. I'm saying two shuffles away because turn 5 is usually when some amount of control starts. You've gotten to play the cards that you started with, and potentially you've gotten to buy some higher priced items. So that's usually when you can start to go, okay, I've gotten my deck into a shape where it can now project out into the rest of the game. It doesn't form like a comprehensive strategy, but it does form one that is quick. Most of your initial effort is on the most important part of the game. Those first few turns make a huge difference, whether you're going to accelerate and zoom off, or you're going to just kind of be stagnant and not do anything useful. Another advantage of this is that it is adaptable to opponent play. You're going, okay, I'm going to go do this one thing, and then you just start doing good things, and it looks like, oh gosh, my opponent's doing something unexpected. They're buying whatever attack, or they're doing something that looks a whole lot better than what I was kind of thinking about. And so you can either, do something more to try to mitigate that attack, or you can go off like how they're doing if you think that's better. It places a really big emphasis on deck control and building fast. This was actually in contrast to a concern I raised with key cards, is that you're getting distracted away from what matters. This is, here's what matters at the start of games, here's what I'm doing. Concerns, normal short-term good things might not match the long-term deck. If you're not looking far enough ahead, you might do something that makes no sense. So that can be an issue with just going like, this is normally good, but sometimes it's not. And you can really get yourself into a hole if you're autopiloting with this. You kind of are relying on being able to have that deck fall out. You're relying on having the intuition so that when you start with this amazing start and you're really going strong, you then know what to do. So you might have to, even after that initial start, rebase and go, oh man, what's actually here? And that's when you might notice, oh shoot, I missed something. If you're just focusing on the start, you can totally miss stuff. You see Silk Merchant, you buy Silk Merchant, then there's something else that is making you, maybe that wasn't so good. There's Lurker Hunting Grounds. It's an extreme example, but, it's easy to miss things when you're just kind of laser focused on what you're doing at the start of the game. So going through the boards, here we have our base only board. Like many other base only boards, your early game goals are thinning aggressively and hitting a price point. In this case, the price point is 6. Artisan is a strong gainer. It'll help you accelerate, get your festivals, get more sentries, get witches, get fit libraries, you name it. So you want to thin aggressively, and you want to reach 6. To achieve these, what are you going to do? Sentry is the strong thinner here. So you have to hit 5. That's going to mean, things that produce economy. One of those things happens to also thin. And that's Moneylender here. So, that's pointing towards getting Moneylender. It thins. Maybe not as well as Sentry, but it is +2 coins, so it's going to help you hit that 5 for the Sentry. And then to hit 6 for Artisan, you're going to need to add something that produces coins. So That's either silver or more apt to the rest of the deck if you're looking that far ahead, is vassals. So you're looking at probably a vassal moneylender or a silver moneylender start here. And then whatever happens, happens. Here, level 4 board, early game goals. You have to hit 5. You want Orphan Stables, or Market. All of these good action cards, they cost 5. So you want your deck to be able to reach 5 a lot. All of the actions that don't cost 5 actually hurt you hitting 5 early on. Haven tends to take away a card out of the deck. Farmer's Market is only going to produce 1 coin. Gardens, of course, it's dead. And Remodel actually hurts your ability to hit 5. So if you have a 3-4, you're looking at 2 silvers in order to do that. What are you buying as your first 5 in order to keep hitting 5? Well, Wharf draws you 1 card now, or nets you 1 card now, and nets you 2 cards next turn, both of which are going to help out. So start getting your Wharves, and then once you get your Wharves, you can get your Stables. Level 7 board. Early game goals. You saw it on the first game, and now it's a goal here. Thinning aggressively is something that you often want to do. The other thing that you're looking at here is, how am I going to produce a bunch of economy? And that's Fool's Golds, and you're going to want to get plus buys for those. Forager and Sacrifice both thin. It's probably a fine opening, Forager Sacrifice. And that's going to get you thin aggressively. Forager is plus buy, and Traveling Fair is also plus buy, and that means Forager gets you more Fool's Golds, and actually Fool's Gold gets you more Fool's Gold, because what you're going to do is you're going to collide 2 Fool's Gold. That's going to hit something like 5 plus a copper is 6. Traveling Fair, 2 more Fool's Golds on top of the deck, rinse and repeat. So, your initial start there is get really thin, get a lot of Fool's Gold, and it just kind of falls out of there. Level 10 board. Early game goals are get University and see University a lot. That's how you're going to be doing a lot of your gaining, your initial acceleration. The way that you see University a lot is you get thin. Surprise. And so what you're doing there, that's Salvager, Junk Dealer, Altar. You're going to need some of those. You're actually going to delay your potion gain. You want to get University and see University a lot, but the thing with thinning is that if you start to not thin, it just becomes harder and harder because, you put these non-thinning cards like University into your deck, and what happens is you're not going to see your thinners as often. So in order to get thin, you have to get thin. It's self-fulfilling. And so Potion's probably going to get delayed to prioritize, getting a Salvager, maybe Salvager Silver, maybe Salvager Ghost Town, to then hit 5, get Junk Dealer, and somewhere in there you might also pick up a Potion. So that's how you would start out that one with a priority of University. It feels like, with this method that you're kind of just not, doing a whole lot of planning, but in some ways that's the point. You need to get a good early game, and, what you do later after that early game is really just build a good deck. We said it relied a lot on intuition, and it does. You see here, you're just supposed to get University and play University a lot. What do you gain with University anyways? Then from, basic deck control, I need to get draw after I get this, because that'll let me see things more, or I need to get payload because I need to start scoring. And from there, it's really just, feeling those mid-game decisions. When you're really good at the mid-game decisions, the board analysis is really just how do I get to where I'm making those? And that's kind of how this early returns thing works.